Mic check, mic check. Just checking in, make sure my vocals are good. How y'all doing out there? How we doing on this Wednesday, hump day for everybody. Christmas coming up Monday. Uh, Great time of year for everybody for the most part. You know, if you're a Christmassy person, salute to you. Some people that's like the New Year's, that time is almost coming. But as far as this football thing, Christmas is a big day for the flock. It's a big, huge day for the flock. A game that could possibly be a Super Bowl preview. It could propel us to a new level of confidence should we win, and a new level of, like, I don't want to say arrogance, but just that self confidence, that self awareness that, okay, we are for real legit, even though we got the best record in the AFC. And if you want to be the best, you got to come through Baltimore. That's what Christmas can do for us. But on the other hand, if we lose, which I don't see that happening, we still in good position to double back the next week and beat Miami and still have the number one seed. So for us, we're in a good situation. We're in a good situation. We playing, it's the two best teams in the NFL on Christmas Day. Now, who I do feel sorry for is the NBA. Because whatever, and I think my Heat play, that 8 o'clock game or that 7 o'clock game, nobody's watching that crap. Unless you're just a basketball purist. Nobody's watching that crap. Every eye, well, I'll tell you like this. Every man, woman, and child that their mom or grandma are going to allow them to watch TV on Christmas, going to be watching that game. And by 8 o'clock at night, all the Christmas festivities should be over with. So eyes going to be locked into that game. And unless you're a basketball purist and you got family members playing for the Heat and whoever they playing, nobody watching that crap. And I love basketball. I ain't watching it. But you get the two best teams in football Sunday night or Monday night, Christmas, prime time. You're going to get more eyes on this game than you would normally get on a normal Monday night or Sunday night game because everybody's off. TV's probably going to be on in different households while they're doing their family thing, and eyes going to be on it. So, and again, I still think you have number one versus number two, not just teams, but number one versus number two in the MVP race. I think how each one of those guys play Monday is going to sway voters one way or the other in the MVP race. So it's a huge, huge, huge game in terms of the Baltimore and what they can do going forward. But even if it doesn't go the way we plan, we still got all our goals in sight. But I don't expect, like, we and I don't know why we're like this. Some people say it's John Harbaugh. Some people will say it's other reasons, but it could be a combination of things. Like when we play, I don't want to say regular teams, but when we play teams that we should handle easily or should beat, so to speak, we don't kind of come out and play like we don't come out foots on neck. But when we play those upper echelon teams, especially the upper echelon NFC teams, our focus be lights out. I mean, lights out. The energy be lights out. The execution be lights out. And I don't expect anything different Monday. I expect the energy to be high because you got a bunch of different subplots. And again, if you got a question, put it, hit the pin link and put it over there so I can see it and I'll answer it. But you got a bunch of different subplots. The first subplot, the MVP race, which I mentioned a minute ago. I think Lamar and Brock Purdy is 1 versus 2. Even though y'all know how I don't want to. Not gonna get into it. When I talk to Mr. Crocker tomorrow, we'll talk Brock Purdy and how I feel about the MVP stuff. So I'll save that for our conversation with Mr. Crocker tomorrow when we do our Behind the Enemy Lines. And again, that's coming up at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be 11 for us. And we'll kind of go back and forth, talking about, he'll talk about the 49ers. I talk about the Ravens, and we'll kind of, talk back and forth about how we feel about the game and go from there. So make sure you lock in for that tomorrow. But the second subplot, the linebacker duos. These by far are the two best linebacker duos in the NFL. Pat Queen and Roquan, Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. You got that subplot. You got that. Subplot number 3. Best record in the NFL. You can go for that. So there's a lot of things going on in this game that you can easily, how Mike Jordan, and he talked about in The Last Dance, how he used to just find stuff to motivate him, like, before games and whatnot. A lot of that stuff you can kind of throw in the back of your head and whatnot. And I had my 4 for 4 that I was going to do today, but I kind of was doing some stuff around the house. I didn't get a chance to do it. But one of the things I talked about, or that I was going to talk about next, was what Debo said on Kay Adams' show. Now, Chris, I don't know where you at if you watching. Drop Kay Adams off your skeet and skedaddle list. Because she ended her little interview with Debo saying, we'll talk to you later after you beat the Ravens on Monday. Okay, Kay. Okay, Kay. If that makes sense. Chris, get out of there. She get off the list, Chris. Get off the list. But another thing that I was going to put in there too, there were, and I don't live in Baltimore, so I think this kind of affects some of you guys that live closer more than me. There were reports that the Sunday night game versus the Dolphins, which would have been Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, they're potentially flexing that to Sunday night. And there were reports that the mayor's office didn't want that to happen, and because of concerns or whatever. But he came out with a tweet with the Charlie Murphy meme. Wrong. He said that it needs to be flexed because that's the type of game it is. And I'm paraphrasing right now, but he basically put out a tweet with the Charlie Murphy meme, and it said wrong. He want the game flexed. He would love to have the game flexed, and I think it should be flexed too. It's for the top seed in the AFC. That game should be in prime time for all eyes. For all eyes to see. Another thing that I was going to have on my 4 for 4, and this might as well just be my 4 for 4, because I don't see no questions over here, so I guess y'all don't have no questions. Pat McAfee. He was talking about on his show how primetime games like Thursday, Sunday, Monday night game. Well, Thursday and Monday night games, the games you can't really flex. How there always seems to be a lull in those games, and we don't get good games, and we have garbage football to watch, and it's not interesting, it's not exciting. He suggested that you just put the Ravens in a lot of those primetime games because of Lamar. And while he was saying that, the different plays that were on the screen were all the times he was scrambling in the back of the pocket and the Jaguars couldn't tackle him. The throw, the scramble, the miss sack. Then the same guy pressuring him in the throw up the likely. The play where he was just dancing in the pocket, just giving everybody the all that, and then running and he basically said almost every offensive play with Lamar in is more exciting than a lot of the football games that we've seen on Thursdays and Mondays, because you can't flex those two days. Like once you schedule them, they're there. Sundays and Sunday nights you can flex, but the other ones you can't flex. So, we've been in the national news a lot, and I'll tell you this: I don't know how it affects. Like I don't like Ing Raven and Nitro and other people. I don't know how it affects them, but the more they talk about us, the more eyes come to the team. But the more we have to work harder as the smaller YouTubers. Because for some strange reason, the eyes go to the 4-letter people. The people that don't even really watch them. So, I'm going to keep grinding this thing out because I'm going to be here whether we win, lose, or draw. They just here for, they here for a good time, not a long time. I actually am in reverse on this one. I'm here for the long time. So we got a few questions over there. So the first one is from Pay the Bills. He says, "Why isn't Matabike getting Defensive Player of the Year talk?" That's a great question. That's a great question. I wonder where he is in leading the league in sacks. Let's see if we can find that out. Let's see where Matabike is in league leaders in sacks. Let me do that. All right, so we go to leaders, not in no seasons, not team defense, leaders. Here we go. Let me find sacks. Sacked, not sacks. Sack percentage. Let me find the defensive side. Punt return. Here we go. Tackles, combined tackles with sacks. Okay, here we go. Here go the list. All right, I'm gonna put the list up here so you guys can see it. Make it a little bigger for us. All right, here's the list. So Matabika has 12, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, he is with 12. You got TJ Watt with 16, Danielle Hunter with 15 and a half, Khalil Mack 15, Trey Henderson 15, Max Crosby with 13 and a half, Josh Allen with 13 and a half, Myles Garrett with 13, Jonathan Grenard, or Grenard, however you say it, with 12 and a half, Sweat with 12 and a half, Michael Parsons with 12 and a half, Matabike with 12. So if we saying he should be in there just off sacks alone, he's number 11 in sacks. What about TFLs and stuff like that? Let's see if we can find that. Hold on. Let's see if I can find. Make it small. I gotta make it smaller again, so I can move. Oh, that's too big. All right, let me see. TFLs. You still got Danielle Hunter, Max Crosby, some TJ Watt, some of those Khalil Mack. I don't even see his name on the top 23 for TFLs. Oh, there he is. He's number 22 for TFLs. We obviously he's not going to be there for tackles because he's a defensive tackle. So I see about QB hits. QB hits. He's second in QB hits. He's second in QB hits. So I don't honestly. Are those numbers defensive player of the year worthy? Are they? I mean, 12 or 13 in sacks, 20 something in TFLs, but he is second in QB hits. And we all know this is a numbers game. We know this ain't. I watch the game and I see the impact of the player and what he does. We all know this is a numbers game. And do he legit have defensive player of the year numbers over a let me see over a Danielle Hunter? Like Danielle Hunter is he's half a sack behind number one. He got 67 tackles totally. He got 21 TFLs, which puts him let me see. That puts him golly, act right, paper. Puts him first in TFLs. And then QB hits, he got 20. That puts him 14. Honestly, I don't think Matabike's numbers are defensive player of the year worthy because we know it's a numbers game. I don't think so. Look at McDonald's defensive player of the year. McDonald. Who is McDonald? Aaron Donald. What year did Aaron Donald win defensive player of the year? Let's do that. Let's do that. Aaron Donald. Let me see. Defensive player of the year 2014. He was defensive player of the year 2014. So let me see if I can find his 2014 numbers. Let's see. All right, his 2014 numbers. That's his rookie year? That was defensive rookie of the year. I'm sorry. That's his rookie of the year 2014. Defensive player of the year, he had 11 sacks, 69 tackles. Okay, let me see if I can do a comparison. Compare Aaron Donald to Justin Matabike. I done typed his name so much in the last couple weeks, I finally learned how to spell it. Aaron Donald, player 2. Let's see. All right. Get results. Hold on. Nah. Trying to see. I think it's a way I can compare the seasons. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to figure. That's a way I can compare the seasons. I don't see how to do it. I know it's a way to do it. Let me see. I'm trying to get this up here for you. Compare player versus compare players. Show criteria. Choose a season for each. I think that's it. All right. So what year Aaron Donald got it? What year was that? 2022. Okay, 2022. So let's go to 2022. All right, his ninth season. All right, and player two, Justin Matabike, which will be this season. All right, let's see if this works. Did this work? I think it did. Let's see. I think it will work. Let me see if I can put it over here for y'all. I think it did work. Let's see. All right. All right, that can't be right because that's old. Because he wasn't 30. He's 31 now. So maybe I got the wrong year. Let me see what. Let me go back. And somebody told me the wrong year. Aaron Donald won Defense Player of the Year. Aaron Donald won it 3 times. Oh, he won it 3 times. Damn. He won in 17, 18, and 2020. Okay, 2020. So let me see if I can go back and change this. Not 2022, 2020. There we go. Now we're gonna be on. Now we're gonna be on the right time. We're gonna be on the right time now. Let's see if this works. Here we go. Here we go. So these are the numbers. Now we finally got it. These are the numbers. Finally, after all that, Aaron Donald won it last time. Matabike is 2 less games obviously because the season's not over. 1.5 sacks behind him already. He already has more tackles. Uh, 3 less forced fumbles, no fumbles recoveries. So he do have comparable numbers. So y'all right. He does have comparable numbers to the year Aaron Donald won Defensive Player of the Year. You're right. You are exactly right. Pay the bills. You're right. Because again, Matabike has 3 more games to go. He's only a sack and a half behind. He already has more tackles. He's 3 tackle for losses behind. He has more quarterback hits. He hasn't forced. He only forced 1 fumble, but you are spot on. Pay the bills. Spot on. Let me screenshot this. It might be something we need to share on Twitter. See, we work together over here. Good content. We work together. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to the second question. Let's go to the second question. Uh, does a win against the 49ers, this is from Big Ridge, does a win against the 49ers make Lamar a front runner for MVP? Hands down, no doubt to me. Unless the game is 6-3. Unless it's a low scoring defensive turnover ridden battle. But if he wins this game, hands down, I think he's the front runner. I do. I do. I already think it's him and Purdy neck and neck, even though, again, I'm not going to go there today. Even though I think it's him and Purdy neck and neck. But whoever wins that game, I think pretty much locks up the MVP unless they have a terrible last 2 weeks. I do. That's my 2 cents on it. Bazel comes in with the next question. He says, who steps up for us next year after the free agent depart? I have no idea. That's too far out for me to look and say. I don't know who leaving. Like I don't be into the numbers part of it until that time comes up. A lot of people be talking about, well, we should get XYZ in free agency this year. Man, I don't care about who no free agent is right now. I'm trying to see San Francisco, and that's it. All I see is red and gold right now. That's it. I do know Queen potentially, or Matabika potentially may not be here, but as far as individuals and who gonna replace them and whatnot, I know who it probably ain't gonna be. I can tell you that. Ojabo. He probably ain't gonna be Ojabo. Then Malik comes behind and says, sneaky team need. Again, I think this is kind of in that same lines as Brandon's question, but I'll say healthy tackles. That's it. Whoever that may be. Healthy tackles. So that's it. Again, if you got questions, you want to pop them over there for me to answer, put them in hit that pin comment that says week 15 Q&A, let's go. Or it say let's good, obviously. It should say let's go. But it should say let's go, but it say let's good. My bad. Players mess up. Let's see what we got going over here, though. What up, Daniel Berry? Pay the bills, T Sizzle. I got to do this. T Sizzle donated while we were not on stream. So let me hit this for him.
Donation.
Appreciate that. I had to make sure I do that. We was on a premiere when they donated and it didn't come up. So I just wanted to make sure I give them that shout out. Let's see. What's up? What's up, Brandon, a.k.a. Arkansas 501? Oakland Trap House was... we're not doing call-ins today, Trap House. No call-ins today. We normally do call-ins after the game, but we not calling in today. How about them fantasy football playoffs? I think you're in first place, pay the bills. And in one league, I was last, and the other one, I'm battling for third place right now. So it is what it is. So at least both chains will not be staying here. At least one of the chains are leaving the crib. I won't be keeping both chains. At least one of them will be leaving the crib. So that's where I'm at. But that was fun. It was the league that I was last in. I think I had 7 wins, and the person in first place had 10. That's just how competitive it was. It was, and I could be a number or two off, but that's how competitive that league was. You have a 2-3 week bad stretch, you at the end, and that's what happened to me. I was right in the thick of things and had about a 3 week stretch with people getting hurt and the bye weeks. Next thing you know, I was in last place. So, but it was fun. Bailey got beats was good. Zach Schlick, I said against the defense, really, they have like 5 superstars on defense. Not really sure what's that pertaining to. If you want to reiterate what you were talking about, Zach, I'll answer that. But again, if you got questions, hit that Q&A button and put the question over there and I'll answer it. And again, all this is leading up to lunch break hot take at 7:15. So that's where we go at 7:15, and we know how to go over there and kick it with those guys on Wednesdays. Let's see. Ravens are underdogs just the way we like it. From Paul, yeah, exactly. We are a different breed when we are the hunters. When we the hunted, we're just growing into that role. But when we're the hunters, we're a different breed of team, and I love when we're the underdogs. I love it, and that's why I'm kind of positive for Monday night. Monday night, Bailey, she looked like she was into whatever or whoever was on her screen. He talking about Kate, and I kind of felt some flirty vibes, but that's just me. But you do what she got to do what she got to do for her show. Shout out to Kate. Long as Chris Dumper, we all good. Still ain't figured out how to ask questions. Oh, so if you go in the chat box, if you go to the top, and it should be a thing that says Q&A, week 15 Q&A, and it should say let's go, but my crazy self typed let's good. Click that, and you should be able to type a question up under it. That's how it should go. Where's the question submission going? I got the question. It's going to me directly. Y'all can't see the question. I can see them. Once you put them over there, I can see them. You have to dismiss the Streamlabs. I don't have to because the other one's up there. Maybe we figured it out afterwards, but I'll dismiss that one and see if that works. Let me unpin this one. Now see if that works. See if that works. See if that works. Uh, let's see what we got. I be saying drops the Ravens need to have the max number of prime. Most definitely, because Lamar himself is prime time football. Period. Period. Let's see what else we got. We low key need to add a QB. We low key need to add a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Do you think Malik Ham is being stashed for the season? That's a good question too. I really been wanting to see Malik ever since he did what he did in that joint practice. I've been itching to see Malik Ham in a real game, and he has not. Speaking of, and this has nothing to do with what was asked. Y'all see my boy gone, Vocalet, and I finally said his name right. The Cardinals picked up Vocalet. The Cardinals got a player. Arizona Cardinals got them a player at tight end to go with McBride. Praying on my guy's downfall, wouldn't he? And he should have. Well, I guess we got Ricard. Ricard's the third tight end. Like I said earlier, Ricard's the third tight end. So I guess we don't lose nothing. Let's see. Kevin Redline dropped the question. He says, do you think the lack of offensive identity makes it difficult for opposing teams to prepare for the Ravens? Completely agree. That lack of offensive identity goes two ways. One, it makes us not have something that we can say, this is us. When we need 4, 5, 6 yards, we can come to this style of play or this kind of play and get it. But on the other hand, that kind of goes with your question. The other team can't go and say, okay, the tendencies are to stop this kind of play, this kind of play, this kind of play, and then we should be good. Because we don't have the tendencies ourselves. So it's twofold, both ways to not having an offensive identity. And just call being multiple. That's what it's called. And it being multiple is hard to do. That's why I really think you're going to see this offense in full form next year. Like I think you'll see the full form of this offense next year because we are so multiple in what we do, which is a good thing. It's hard to do, but it's a good thing. Let's see. The next one is from Runix. He said, Coach, this might sound crazy, but what are the chances LJ goes for the Jackson 5, 4 in the air and 1 on the ground? Hey, that's not a crazy thought, man, because again, like I mentioned earlier, the legit, the for real teams, we come out and we're a different individual, man. Like the way we came out versus the Lions, the way we came out versus the Seahawks, and I know the Lions and the Seahawks are not the 49ers. I know that. But our focus, our execution, our play calling, and even our coaching is when we them top tier teams, and again the NFC teams too. It's different. It's different. Let me see. Kiwi Wood say, put on your OC hat, Coach. What passing concepts work best against cover 4? I ain't gotta put on my coach. That hat never comes off, my guy. That hat never comes off. I'm gonna show you what works best in my eyes versus cover 4. Glad you brought that up. We always want to go to the whiteboard. I love going to the whiteboard. If it was up to me, if I was a bachelor, this room would have that paint, that whiteboard paint on the wall, and I just be writing on the walls like that. If I was a bachelor, but I know she ain't going, so I ain't even asked. So, all right, cover 4. Y'all see that? Let me see. All right, here we go. This close enough. This best I can get. So I select center. Let's say 2x2. And this is my favorite cover 4 beater. And so they got there, end, 3 tech, nose, end, Greenlaw and Warner, corners, safety. Is that 11? That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's just say backs on this side, so they got maybe a nickel right here. Let's just say. All right. So for the sake of, cover 4, normal cover 4, you get that. and then you got reads based off what each person does. My favorite concept versus this is, and the play side, this is the play side for me over here. My favorite concept is to run that guy there because he has to account for it. Run that deep curl there because he has to account for that. Run the post right there because now he has automatic leverage on him. So the thing is, get you back out in the flats. And nickel got to cover that or kind of be in that area. Run this curl. If he steps up on that curl, you got the post over top. If he lags off that, you got the curl with inside leverage because the nickel then bounced out here to cover your flat defender. And if for some strange reason they take that, he take that, and he jumps inside, then you got this dig coming across. All right, and run this guy on the go. That's my favorite cover 4 beater, and it's called. I'll even tell you the signal because I probably ain't coaching no more. Probably, maybe not. I called it money. So that was my favorite cover 4 beater, and we have others, but that was my favorite. And we had an individual that wasn't a runner, but he's a backup at FAMU now, and we had a guy on the edge on the outside that's a receiver at Georgia Tech, and when we saw cover 4, like I ain't even have to tell him. Like he'll the signal, whatever the signal was, he'll kind of put his hand behind his back to me and do it, and I just shook my head when we both saw cover 4, and we hit that a lot. We hit that play a lot. It was money versus cover 4. Let's see what else. Agent E, I don't think the 49ers defense is going to stop Lamar if he runs a lot. Lamar's getting a lot of rushing yards, but what I am cool with about his rushing yards is they're not becoming from the design runs. They're coming from him dropping back the pass and him either not liking the reads or not liking the whatever he's seeing from the receivers and taking off. So as long as they're not design runs, I'm cool with it because he can protect himself better on scrambles. Those design runs where he got to hit a gap and whatnot, and I ain't with all that. But we've done a good job of not doing it a lot this year, and I'm extremely proud of the staff for that. Because I think that is part of the reason why he been nicked up this time of the year the past 2 years. Too many design runs. And now when the playoff time come, you know them design runs going to be in there. You already know they're going to be in there. Because when the playoff time comes, it's balls to the wall. So we just save them to the playoff time and key situations and go from there. All right. Next one is from Baseball Lifestyle. He says, what teams give you matchup worries for us in the playoffs? Mine is Miami Dolphins and the Bills. Mine is the Bills. Because they have a good when their D line is healthy, it's pretty darn good. Now they I don't know if Milano got hurt and they lost the other linebacker, so I don't know how good they are linebacker wise. But their D line gets after it when they're healthy, when they're all playing. And then Josh Allen, like he's hard to tackle. He's a different kind of runner than Lamar, but he's just as effective. And Stephon, you think about Stephon versus either one of our corners. And I guess you could say the same thing about Miami when you think about Tyreek versus our corners. But the Bills scare me more than anything because of Josh Allen back there not liking his reads and just running. That's why the Bills scare me more. But I can understand the Dolphins, especially with that high-powered offense and what they did to us last year. I can understand it. And probably the guy that should probably win MVP is on that team too, Tyreek. But, you know, he probably not going to win it, but he probably should. Ty Robinson says, explain to me how we an all-black QB room unlike other teams. Not sure how to answer that. I mean, I guess it's because of the play style, and that play style really don't fit white quarterbacks. I mean, Josh runs, but his play style is still not like Lamar. Pat Mahomes, well, Pat Black too. I'm trying to think of some mobile white quarterbacks. I can't think. I mean, honestly, I can't think of none. I, honestly, I take the best. Right. Appreciate it, Bailey got beats. He says no identity and the game of the year. Year take best team. Yep. Um, but as far as the other one, appreciate you, Raven. Appreciate the 5. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Um, you keep doing your thing too over there. Keep doing your thing too. That I don't know if you heard what I said earlier, but with the and this question for you, Ing, with all the national people talking about the Ravens, is do you see a difference in your numbers? That's I mentioned that earlier. I don't know if you were here for that part. Like with like ESPN and Fox and everybody else, all the big YouTubers, like the huge 4-letter network that people that doing YouTube, with all them talking about the Ravens. Your numbers still kind of looking on par. Dude from the Giants, yes, dude from the Giants. So Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, yeah, he's a runner. I still don't think, like, if you look at our QB room, we got Lamar, Snoop, and what's the kid we just picked up from Louisville? I can't think of his name, but he played in Louisville, was in New England. I can't think of his name. But all three of them dudes, if you think about it, Taysom Hill a tight end. Get out of here, Reg. Taysom Hill a tight end. Not trying to judge them, but all three of them dudes, if they wanted to play something else, they could. Yeah, that's what I assume, because mine too. That's what I assume. But Lamar, Snoop, and I can't think. I'm drawing a blank with the Cunningham. Yeah, Cunningham. Like, they could play something else if they wanted to. They really could. They actually had the coach. I mean, not the coach. The Patriots actually had Cunningham playing receiver. So they had Cunningham playing receiver. So, but I don't think Daniel Jones could go play another position. Okay. Okay. Um, and the thing is about that is I mean, Purdy moves well enough. Jared Goff don't move. The Rams quarterback Stafford don't move. Uh, Tua moves okay, but I don't think Tua's Polynesian, so I don't. That's a different classification for me. Um, I just don't. I don't see any white quarterbacks that move. So, I mean, for the play style we got, we probably need mobile quarterbacks, and most of the mobile quarterbacks black. So, I mean, that is what it is. Pay the bill said, what do you think the loss of Mitchell will look like? Oh man, that's gonna hurt us. That's really gonna hurt us, man. Mitchell we were able to run the basic inside zone. If you watched the video I did, was it Monday or Tuesday, about our run game? We ran inside zone and outside zone the least, but they were the most effective because they don't have to be block perfect for a guy like Mitchell to make a guy miss and be gone. Like, there were one or two plays, even the play he got hurt on. If he lands comfortably out of that tackle and don't like land the way he landed and mess his knee up, he might score. He might score. And then there were a couple of 12-yard runs in there that was just simple inside zone. And then they were getting to the point where they were getting in pistol or on the center and handing him the stretch. And like all the defender or linebacker has to do is overplay the stretch one time. The running back see it, stick his foot in the ground and get north and south. Nobody will touch him. And that's where we were headed with Keaton Mitchell Sunday night. So I think Justice Hill has to come in and do what Keaton does. Because Gus can't do it. Gus is good back, but he can't do what Keaton was doing off inside and outside zone. Gus needs to go downhill. And he's good at going downhill. But the inside zone, the outside zone, and the shiftiness and whatnot, Hill, this is your opportunity, but my guy. Because we need Gus for short yardage and power situations and stuff like that. But we need a shifty back. We need to shift it back. Now, Melvin Gordon 3 or 4 years ago would have been perfect for what we do. Would have been perfect. I don't know what Melvin Gordon now can do to help this. I'm assuming he's gonna be in the rotation Sunday. I'm assuming. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let me see. We got about 3 minutes before lunch break hot take goes. I got a couple more questions. I got 2 more, I think. Kevin says, thanks for sharing it. Oh, no problem. Hey, that if you didn't see Kevin's edit, the Marvel type edit last week, man, that joint was fire. Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, go check my Twitter out, Coach Evans 9, and kind of scroll down, or go to Kevin Redline on his Twitter. He did a edit for the Baltimore, and that thing was fire. It was fire. It was hot. So no problem, man. Anytime you drop something like that, just hit me up, and I don't have a problem sharing it, retweeting it, or even throwing it on here if I need to. Just hit me up. Let's see. Frito S says, "Do you think what is wrong with my eye? Do you think we are waiting until the playoffs to define our offensive identity?" That's a good question too. I think at this point in the game, and like we talked about earlier, when somebody asked a similar question, at this point in the game, you might as well not even have an identity. That way, the defense don't have something they can lock in and say, "Hey, this is what they're good at. Let's take it away." Because again, looking at that, going back to that video I did, we ran the 4 main concepts. We ran counter, power, inside zone, outside zone. We ran a little bit of pin and pull. We ran 1 play of trap, and something else we ran. But for the most part, we ran the four main concepts. And so they can't just go into the meeting room and say, "Hey, we stop them on the outside zone, we got them," or "We stop their gap runs, we got them." They got to be able to defend all that. Now, I think the one play we ran trap versus Jacksonville kind of didn't work because we ran it versus a forefront. But when I went back and looked at it, if Isaiah Likely, Lamar should have pulled the ball. That's what happened. Lamar should have pulled it. He handed it off, and Josh Allen just screamed down there and tackled the back. So I think Lamar should have pulled it on that one. But I think it's just cool just to stay multiple at this point and not give the defense something that, hey, they can lock their hat on and take that away. Then you're in trouble. Because I think it's kind of too late to say you're gonna have identity. It's week 15, but then again, who am I? I mean, they could be saving something for the playoffs. Frito, they could be. Last question. Then we're going to head over to Lunch Break Hot Take and check out their show. It says, am I crazy or not for thinking that high of the Dolphins? Because last year we contained them pretty well before Marcus Williams got hurt and Hamilton had his welcome to the NFL moment. No, because I think they're a better team than they were last year. I do. I think they're a better team than they were last year. So, no, you're not crazy for thinking that, but they have some holes mainly because of injury. Like to me, their best edge rusher is hurt. They got a couple old linemen that's hurt. Tyreek is not 100%. And for what we do offensively, I think we match up pretty well. Because we don't always have to play man. We don't have to play man, and we don't have to blitz to get pressure. So we can rush 4, sit 3 deep, 4 under, or go 4 deep, 3 under, and still get pressure and play in them windows where he can't throw the RPOs. Because the RPOs is what's kill you. He hits you with them RPOs, and then when you got to come up to defend them, then he go over top. So if you can sit in those windows and do different things and give them different looks, I think we can contain them. Now, not to say they're not going to score, but I think we can contain them enough till we go score and do what we need to do. All right. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to head over to Lunch Break Hot Take Show. It should have started by now. So when you get there, if you're coming from this stream, put in the chat box, Coach sent me. That's what you do. Go over to Lunch Break Hot Take stream, and if you shouldn't have to do anything, once I end this stream, it should take you right there. So once you get over there, say Coach sent you, and then we're just gonna have fun with them guys for the next hour or so. Mozart got 20 TDs. Mozart does have 20 TDs. That's the most TDs in his career. He had 19 for his career. He got 20 this year. So again, I appreciate you guys for coming through. You could have been anywhere in the world. Like the stream. Matter of fact, let me see what we got on likes. Do we have enough likes to give points? We do. We got 39 likes. Let me give 25 points before we get out of here.